Craig from GTconsult here. So we can't get away from AI at the moment. Every sentence seems to have a GPT thrown in it some way. Let's face it, we love it. But we need to make it business practical. So how do we get our information from our business into GPT to build business insights and simply ask questions about the business? Let me take you through it now. Okay, so we've all seen ChatGPT before. It's great for answering any of our questions that we need to find out about, create ourselves some mail, maybe even code a page. But what it's not great at is finding information about my organization or me as an individual. So as an example here, I'll say, what is Craig Tarr's date of birth? And as we'd expect, the information is not available. There's no way for it to find out that context. Similarly, if I say, what is Sheldon Hayes and Tar Pty Ltd's address, well, it has no context around that either, because it is just an AI language model. So if we wanted to find more information about our organization, we need to pass it that information. Now, are we going to do that on ChatGPT? I think not, because obviously all of that information gets somehow put into the public domain in the cloud. So we want to have our own version of ChatGPT running, and we want to be able to feed it with information from our organization. So without getting too technical, I'm quickly going to open up Azure and just show you the blocks that we need to build. Firstly, we build our own ChatGPT. That uses Azure OpenAI, which means it's my own service of that AI componentry running. Secondly, we set up a search service, and that search service allows us to index any of our company information. So we point that at our organizational data. So how does that actually help us? Well, let's go and quickly open up Power Automate, and we'll see how we can call the service. So here we've got a trigger that kicks off. We pass it a search term. It then goes and searches through Azure search services to get us data that is relevant to our search term. It passes it all into OpenAI and gives us a response. So I'm going to test this. I'm going to run this manually. And I'm going to pass it our same question. What is Craig Tarr's date of birth? That runs our flow, and we should see the results coming up here shortly. So it kicks that off, goes and gets our results from Azure services, and then it returns a result from our ChatGPT, where it passes a whole bunch of data around us and finally comes up with a response that says Craig Tarr's date of birth is March 18th, 1977. So it's picked up that data from the documentation we've passed through from our business. Now, obviously, you're not going to be running Azure OpenAI using a Power app like this. So let's make this a little bit more friendly, and let's show this to you in a context that is more familiar, like Teams. So here we've created a Teams bot. That bot automatically looks for a search term being Gizmo, which tells it that it must go and find information from OpenAI. So I'm going to go in here and go Gizmo. What is GTconsult's address? It now has to think for a little bit, goes and finds out that it's picking up information from OpenAI. It's automatically checking through all of our documentation in the GTconsult instance. And finally, comes back with our address. Now, obviously, that is a very simple example. You could get this created automatically for you. But the idea here is that it can look through any of your documentation within your business context, and it's not opening up that information to the World Wide Web. It's not putting it onto anyone else's cloud. It's sitting on your own cloud in Azure. So it is therefore secure, as secure as your systems are. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you can do with the data. Obviously, there's a whole lot more than getting your address and your date of birth. You can start building insights based on that data. All the best. And if you want to see how we've actually built this, please check the links below and I'll take you through all the technical know-how.